kind of blue. It's so green. But that's been very helpful as we manage our clover during the summertime, going into the fall, and we'll spray that, and we see it has immediate uptake, and a few days you can see the effect it has on the plot. But I'd also like for there to be some rain on the horizon there to assist the plants as well.
Clover is easiest to maintain out of probably everything, but you still have to be careful in some regards. So it's a great plot, and we've seen the Lindseys utilize it time and time again.
Those guys can grow some clover, and look, they're growing some giant deer. There's got to be something there that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we all know the soybeans are a big part in the summertime of helping to grow, put big bodies, put antlers on deer. But these clover fields, they can grow from the edge of the woods on one side to the edge of the other. The turkeys benefit from them. Other wildlife benefit from clover. Is just it has a place on every farm. That is for sure. We've become big fans of clover.
Clover is king. Well, in some regards. All right, Bobby. Well, thank you for your time. We're going to check back in with Jeff and David here and see how the hunt's going.
I bet I bet Jeff's eating a fudge round if I had to bet.
Ooh, fudge round. Yeah. No, there's no Little Debbie Christmas trees yet, so he's going to have to find something else.
All right, y'all have a good time. Appreciate what y'all are doing. This is pretty exciting. It's this going live.
Sorry, I was on our stream over on TikTok commenting. Update, we have not seen a deer. Wish I had better news. But the good news, if there's a silver lining, is that over half of our field is now in shade. If you count all the way over there to all the way over here. Starting to see movement out there. Are we shooting a doe tonight? What's everybody doing tonight? Y'all watching football? Is Bama still losing? Or winning? They were barely winning by a few points when I seen them earlier. I need to check that. I can't talk no smack. They beat Georgia last week. Let's see here. God. Did it just pop up? Did it just go? Or is it?
Don't matter. We got it.
Okay.
As long as we're live on it, we shoot it though. That's our plan.
All right, let's check in on some scores here. Oh my gosh. Florida's beating Texas by 8. And they got the ball with a minute and a half left. Holy cow. Alabama's beating Vandy. They're going to win that game. UCLA is about to up. UCLA just beat Penn State. Wow. Oh my gosh. Ole Miss beat LSU. That's last week. No, what the heck? I knew that. What's going on here? I want to know. What the heck? I want to know about today's stuff, dude. This got going all the way back. I knew Ole Miss beat LSU. I was thinking they played Mississippi State, and Mississippi State beat them, but I know they didn't think they were playing them. Ooh, Cincinnati beat Ohio State. Kentucky got trounced by Georgia. I knew that already. Notre Dame's beating Boise State. I think my buddy Joe was at that game. Miami and Florida State tonight. It's going to be pretty good. Got them chicken wings home. Should be tasty. Y'all, let me get on here and check some of y'all's comments. What y'all doing today? Let's see here. My service is not good here. I can't even check in what's going on Facebook. Zip Facebook. Man, we got some wind. It was supposed to be like 20 miles an hour today. And I would believe it's every bit of that right now.
Here can help us with this heat, though.
Yeah. This blind is actually not as hot as I thought it would be with this wind.
Must be nice. You get that coming in over here. High.
Did Jeff run to DQ for a quick ice cream? I would have considered it. But the most communist, socialist thing in the history of Southern Iowa happened many moons ago, about 5 years ago. The local Dairy Queen just went out of business. We eat there all the time. 23-14 Alabama winning. Is what Don says. What's up, Don? How you doing, buddy? I don't know if y'all can see this over here. This tree right there, that's 37 yards. Old Freak Nasty comes out and makes my scrape right there. It's going to be a beautiful shot at about 38 yards. What time did we see that first deer yesterday?
Cole said 6:15, but here, I think it was more like...
Well, he was watching that buck, and I was like, deer in the field.
At 6:15, we saw that bug. That was the first one.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to see a deer by 6:15. I'm feeling it.
Chance. It's quite a chance. Be prepared if one of them shoots to pull your 12 dB audio boost.
All right.
Because they'll get louder, don't they?
This is what we're going to do. We're going to give a bag of biologic clover away this afternoon just because we're on a clover patch. And this clover is super hardy for the drought conditions, cold weather, everything. I don't know how I'm going to give it away, but I'm going to give it away to one of you guys tonight. We'll get it shipped out to you next week. If you're in the South, you still got time to plant it. If you're in the Midwest, you'll be ready to plant it come March frost seed it. What do you think? How should we give it away?
What?
I'm going to give that clover away tonight.
Who comes up with the best tree stand snack suggestion?
Yeah. I tell you this, everybody just start posting down below, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, start commenting what the temperature is where you're at right now. And I'll pick somebody. We're going to give some clover away. Guys over at Biologic,
Yeah, I'll give you a cocktail when Jen's ready.
they'll send y'all some.
Ready to switch.
I got to get an update on this Alabama score.
Chance the cold in the battery switch cracked.
I'm trying to decide, last night I was iffy on a doe. This morning I was 100% I was going to whack one. Tonight I don't know. I do got a picture a few days ago of a buck in here I would shoot. So I don't necessarily want to blow it up, but I also really want to fling an arrow, so I'm in a tough spot. Man, that sun and that wind's got this clover dancing. Oh my gosh, Blue Jays are killing the Yankees 10-1. Oh, now Texas. Oh gosh, Texas got beat by Florida. Oh. Cole's a big Nebraska. Cole told me don't let him know anything about Nebraska, so nobody say nothing about Nebraska score. I can almost see that alfalfa field 400 yards away. Over on the neighbors. Well, I say alfalfa. It's a very grassy alfalfa, but it's...
All right, folks, thanks for joining us today. We're having a lot of fun with Jeff and David out in the field in Iowa. We are back in the studio right now, though, and we've got Joe Humphreys waiting on the other line from Big Time. He is in Oklahoma hunting himself, and whether you agree with it or not, there are states you can hunt over bait, and there is a strategy to that. So let's talk to Joe about that and see what he likes doing strategy-wise for hunting over bait when you're deer hunting or using bait to inventory deer or draw them into your property during season. How's it going, Joe?
Going well, man. We're just waiting for that sun to go down a little bit before we get out in the tree tonight.
Yeah, so, you got any big ones? What are you after?
Yeah, we've there's 3 bucks coming into to the spot I'm going to tonight. Really excited about the one in particular named Big Rig. But there's 3 options there that I'm gonna get wound up on if they come out tonight.
But
nice.
We'll see. We will see. So
yeah.
we, like you were saying, we just got it baited up and everything, hung a new set there tonight. So going right into the whole baiting strategy, being in Oklahoma right now, I'm going to utilize Big Time whenever I can, obviously. But, I think there's a common misconception that you just go out there with a bag and dump it out and every deer in the county comes running into you. Man, that just ain't the case. You're still playing the wind. You still got to look at your entrance, your exit, and making sure you're not blowing those deer out on the way into that feed. But, I think that's where it gets its bad rap, where everybody just thinks they automatically kill the deer thereafter when they throw it out there.
Well, at the end of the day, look, man, you got all these does and everything else coming in. Those deer are sketchy sometimes when you're hunting over a bait. It's not easy. There is definitely a science to it. Yep.
Yeah, the wind's everything. I mean, if they're going to try to circle, you got to get below that. And, we've done the inventory. I mean, really for us, we don't want to just go out there right off the rip and throw some Big Time out. We want them to get acclimated and used to that cherry rush smell, because that's really what brings them in. They're going to come in and eat. But once they get a taste of that, when they hit that in the wind, they're going to be rolling around, and they're going to start becoming more consistent. Like whenever I've been with Jeff and David, talking about where they're going to be if they're in a bait state, I want them to be starting to feed about a month to 3 weeks before they get there, to get them on those patterns and get them used to that new flavor or that new aroma in the air, instead of just going out and saying, here we go. Because you're kind of doing the introduction while you're hunting. I want the courting phase to be over with by the time you get hunting. It's not just go and throw. Like, get them used to it.
Right. Well, and the other thing, too, is with something that smells that strong, it also does kind of help provide a cover scent for you as the hunter.
It definitely does. I mean, when you go out there and feed, you're throwing down human scent. But if they're associating that human scent with some more big time getting poured out, that's definitely going to work to it's going to give you a little bit of a play, but you can still get busted out there for sure.
Well, I've done that myself in Kentucky, which is a bait state with corn. You go in and it's like middle of October, and you're like, man, I don't want to push this deer out. He doesn't have a short memory yet because we're not full-blown rut. What do? We got to go into the timber and get these stands taken care of. All right, well, let's just sprinkle some corn out wherever we walk around, and they kind of forget about it a little bit. You can use it to cover your tracks, essentially.
Oh, yeah. And to go with that, I think even if, I'm from Indiana, where we can't bait. We can supplemental feed, which there's a massive difference between supplemental feeding and baiting. But, we try really hard, even getting down to the time of day that we're going to feed. Always go in the same way. Keep that routine identical so you're not blowing those deer out. They know if you're going in there at that time, you're going to feed them up, and you're not spooking them out. You're not taking them out of their routine, and it keeps them a little bit more comfortable for you.
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of routines, this is kind of a question some people will 100% agree with, or they're going to totally disagree with. Or I shouldn't say a question, I should say a statement. When you go to feed like that, if you are always doing it and you're driving an ATV or a UTV in up to the spot, you dump it out, and then you drive off, do you think you can use that to your advantage? Because for me personally, what I say is, hey, they hear that UTV come and go, that's the dinner bell. So follow that up with, hey, you're hunting, you want to go in and hunt, you got a buddy that can drop you off, have them drop you off with the ATV or the UTV, slide up into your stand, and you can do the 100%. Same thing likewise to get back out, right?
100%. And we've been in situations where, we're in Texas, where if you change the vehicle you go in, that's enough to throw them off. But to your point, if you're taking that UTV in, go climb in that tree while he's spreading for you, and then he rolls out, and, there's a good possibility 10, 15 minutes, those deer are popping back out to see what you just threw down for them.
I mean, I had it happen last year on a Booner and Velvet. I mean, I knew he was consistent, and it's first Saturday in September. I'm getting in at noon because that's when we usually run the farm to do stuff. And hey, get dropped off in the UTV. He's going to be none the wiser.
Absolutely.
So we talked about using the ATV, UTV, getting in and out, but my next question is if you're not using that or you don't have a buddy that can drop you off and pick you up, do you have any advice for people strategy-wise for if you're using something like the Big Time Cherry Rush, how to get out of that stand after dark without blowing all those deer out off of it? It's such a hard thing to do.
That's going to be a tough one, man. Ideally, you have somebody pick you up, but that's not always the case. There's been a lot of times where those deer came in a little too late. It's warm out. Maybe they came in right there in those last few minutes and they're still out there. There's been a lot of times where I just sat way after dark and just let them eat. Hopefully they're going to move off before I get down. Sometimes I'm not going to sit there till 10 p.m., but sometimes you just got to get down as quiet as you can and ease out if you can. That's a tough situation.
Especially if you can lower your weapon to the ground very slowly while you're sitting there waiting, and then wait, and that way when you go to get down, all you got to do is just slip right down. Sometimes you can slide out, and they're not going to blow at you and run off like they normally would. They might push off 50 yards, and then you slip out, and then they're right back in there, and they're none the wiser to it.
Yeah, I think if you're spooking them while you're still in the tree, they're going to be looking at that tree from now on. If you get to the ground and they hear something, they kind of move off. Like you said, they might not necessarily be blowing at you. They might move off. Chances are they're probably going to come right back in eating again after you get out of there. But, don't be gawking around or anything. Just go out slow and act like nothing's going on.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe. We appreciate your time. You guys are talking about the Cherry Rush a lot. Is there anywhere local that most people can go and find that stuff?
Yeah, man. Right now, for attractability, the big thing for us is the Cherry Rush deer corn that we just came out with this year. So it's going to be straight corn, and it has our Cherry Rush sprayed on there. So right now, Tractor Supply, Rural King, those are the big two. If you don't have time to go in and shop around, either one of those places, you can get online, order on there, and they've got it ready for you. You pull the truck up and load it up, and you're good to go. But definitely a hot button right now. Everybody's going after the Cherry Rush deer corn.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Joe. We're going to hop back into the field here with Jeff and David and see what we got going on.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, buddy. I'll see you.
Guess Dave's seen anything. I heard from him. The only thing right here, I'm going to have to shoot out this horizontal window unless I open this vertical. I really don't want to. We hopped in this stand tonight, and because we really didn't have any intentions on doing turkeys, you help him back there. We hopped in this stand, and all the windows were up, so all the rednecks that work on the hunt, we usually kind of leave the windows down or halfway down. That way they don't like just a black mass. Because now when these deer come out, now that we got this window down here, so we got this one cracked, that one cracked. But I'm hoping it's not a red flag. Alright, what is it? We got over an hour to hunt, and we got full shade pretty much on this side, with the exception of that little ray of light right there. As you can see, that's not helping us though. It's cool though.
It's over under 15 minutes before we see the first deer.
What time y'all think we'll see the first deer? I tell you what, that's how we're going to give it away. What? That's how we're going to give away this clover, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Dude, guess what time that I want to see my first deer. We're going to see a deer. I don't care if I have to sit out here till midnight. We're going to see a deer. We're not going to go skunked for the whole day. But give us, it's 6:20 now, I guess, 6:21. Guess exactly what time we're going to see our first deer. It doesn't matter. It could be a fawn, buttonhead, 8-point, 10-point spike, doe, whatever. Whoever gets that on the head, I'm going to give somebody some clover. Sorry to kind of switch on you like that, but it is what it is. I thought that would be cool. Oh man, is your head ever like dead in between snaps on a hat? Well, that's what I'm dealing with now. And I know that has a lot to do with my hair. But that one right there is a little too tight, and then when I loosen it, it's too loose. I might need to loosen it up and just set it on the dash, get it drawn up by some sun. Man, it is warm. Let me double check. I think shooting light tonight is 1 minute earlier than last night, but I'm going to double check that. Alright, we had seen a deer last night by this time. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure we did.
Wow. You can keep that over there where it came from.
So, well, I can't see there. There's that hedge apple tree, that huge hedge apple tree. Ooh, shoot light is 2 minutes earlier than last night. 7:21. Interesting. We got a pretty good front coming in here Monday. I don't think I'm going to be around to see it, but man, high of 64 on Monday. It's gonna be on. Next week's gonna be it's gonna be better. Nothing great till middle of the month. I feel like we have a deer in the field. We just can't see it because we can't see that quarter of the field, and I can't see this little neck right here. Alright, I need some comments, guys. What time we gonna see this deer? Let me know. What time we gonna see this first deer? Ouch. That was my shoulder. Deer. Right up the straight ahead. Oh yeah, boom, 623.
Chance, we got a deer dead in front of us. I'm about to go zoom in on it.
Big old slick. Oh, another deer to the right. Two slicks coming in right now. And another.
There's one behind her.
One on the right's got two. That's a big slick. She's calm. Ooh, another. Man, look at the size of it. Her mouth's open like she's being chased. She's not. It's just that warm. Boy, they come right out and started eating, didn't they? Well, there goes our contest. Oh man, look at that little fawn right there. That thing still got spots.
Yeah.
A lot of spots.
Turn your GoPro on.
That joker was bred February. Another deer behind him. Well, they're moving now. She's got twins. That one is a lot. Oh, what's that? Another doe. Man. We're loaded right here. They're all coming out of that thick stuff. $58. Man, is that right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that escalated quickly. Really quick. I was like, for a second there, that window on the left was so small, I thought she had twins, and they were like, one was really bigger than the other, but that is not the case. Not the case at all. Another deer, jeez. Oh yeah, we're definitely beating David tonight. We did get skunked.
We're back on our rock street.
That's not the flex we think it is. That's not the flex we think it is. Should I shoot a doe? That's the question.
Chance, roll that as long as you have to, buddy. Are we still live on YouTube? Are we still live on YouTube? Can you double check?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, we're working. Alright. Jeff, you want to go up and pop one? David's camera's down, so we're going to do something for action.
You want me to pop one?
Yeah. I think we should pop one tonight.
I'll get a little closer.
Oh, obviously, but
Unless you want me to be schlock master and pop one at 55.
don't get here.
Oh yeah, she is. Calm down. She's a stone pony right there, boy. Oh, that's an old looking doe. That one on the left, though. She's the smartest to that little baby fawn. Right there will make you love clover. I don't like that. Man, I don't know if I got a bit by a chigger or what today coming out of the woods, but I'm itching that one.
Shut that GoPro down.
Love that.
It was at like 60% battery earlier on the dial. Got one that
I can't shoot that doe with that fawn or with the spots.
easy, easy, easy. Go, let's do this. There you go.
let those mama does look back right there. Ready, old sad daddy, just to walk out. Did we see a buck last night? I can't remember.
We saw ourselves last night.
I thought I saw a little buck. Maybe not. Don't see nothing over there. I need to cut the top of that cedar right there. Might be old Buckarooski. I can't see a couple of those deer that went over there behind. Now they're looking to the left. That's one good thing about having deer in the field. I mean, you can kind of not let your guard down, but you can watch the does or the deer, especially if it's a big matriarch doe like what we got right here. Kind of just watch them and they'll tell you where the next deer is going to come out. Nothing to it, just do it. They're going to come up here right before dark and go to this gap on our left and go out in this cornfield, if I had to guess. Would be my guess. Is that turkeys out here? but like I say, that's one I can shoot 46 yards. Somebody called. Oh, is that your phone? I was like, who? I thought that was me. I'm like, who do I have saved? I don't even know nobody like that. Front door, boy, she's got some rebels in her, don't she? Yeah. She is, as they say in the South, she is mature.
Chance, is Jeff's selfie cam still good? You hear that grunt?
What?
You hear that grunt?
A grunt?
Yeah. Hurry up, what grunt?
Are you sure it wasn't this thing?
I heard it right down the lid right there.
Well, that's where they're looking. This thing already died.
Another one.
Oh, it's got 57%. For whatever reason, it's not charging this phone, which it shouldn't be no problem. You still got 13%, but
Use the wrong charge port. The USB-C. Oh no, that's a cord. Okay,
I think it's the cord.
Where's this falling?
Are you as tight as it'll go?
Yeah. Look it over here now.
Yeah. He's like very concerned that something over here to her right. Can you see like in that corner?
No.
You're not going to be able to see it. That was just a cedar tree right there. Although easy when you move. Well, these does are all looking. These jokers must have all been bedded on that same little ridge. I'm like, you know what, guys, let's go. Let's get up, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doe on the left has ate a lot of clover in her day out of this plot right here. Mom's deer right there. Same gap. Another nanny head. I guarantee you I'm a double throat patch. She's gonna have a fawn with her. We get one of these does. She's already spoken for. One of Clayton's buddies, wife, or somebody. My wife's friend. Clayton's wife's friend is a vegan, but she wants some deer meat. Here's the fawn. She wants it for her boyfriend. Oh, her boyfriend. Where's she gonna eat it to? Maybe. This is all 100% wild, free range, organic meat.
She would tell you if she was gonna eat meat. This is the meat she would eat.
Booyah. That's a big fawn right there. There's the fawn. Yeah, it's number 11. Here comes that big mama right here. Right here. She is looking up, burning a hole through us, dude. I don't know if we're going to pass the eye test with her. Dang, window's been open. Get ready. 32 yards. She's gonna go to this cornfield behind us. That'd be the one I'd shoot right there. Need her to calm down, start eating. I want to try to not shoot your phone.
Slide it to the left.
No, it's good. I may slide it just a little.
Turn your GoPro on, you're not sure.
It's pretty hard cornering right now.
She ain't happy with this line like that.
You're good. Drop back this chair. I don't think she's looked up all. This one ain't looked up all day, has she?
Now she's quartering.
That's her right there. She's gonna give me the shot. I can't. She'll blow the whole deal. She's good. She's still walking.
Yeah.
I can open this window.
Have to lose her. She's not pulling over the fire. She's behind that apple tree.
Alright, we lost her. That's some pretty big doe. Where's that double throat patch? because that breeze is blowing, dude. Now I don't have to worry about shooting your dick on bow. I can shoot sitting down. Another deer just stepped out. Another big doe. Deer number 12. Well, I was getting a little greedy. You know, I kind of want them to stop, but it's like they don't want to stop.
Yeah, they're not going to stop. That one stopped right there.
Yeah, I can't shoot that. That other doe just stepped out by herself, too. She's a candidate. We still got what? Oh, that's a fawn right here. We still got two big mamas out here. We got that 1.5-year-old doe too, but I ain't shooting that one. I like that one that just stepped out. I only get one, so I can be picky. I reserve the right to be picky. Like this one right here, I'm gonna whack it.
Yeah. I'll stick it more, man. You know that thing on the grill always fucking joy.
Put that thing on the trigger as is. These does get dead behind us. They're liable to blow the whole deal.
You gotta fucking run them.
They do.
What size? How big is the buck, boys? How big is the buck? Chance, do they have a clear view of the buck?
Yeah, it's gotta be real clear, you know.
Make sure you got audio. Roll Jeff's audio in case we shoot.
Oh gosh, look at these big does, dude. They're like 15 yards to my left.
We got two big does down here, but we'll cross through. Okay.
Yeah, they got together. That last doe didn't have a fawn with her. I'd rather shoot. Oh, look at her. Right here. 5 yards. She's gonna cross the fence where we did. See, this is that 1.5-year-old doe or that bigger fawn looking deer. I should have brought my bow stand up. I know if I shoot that last one, she didn't have a fawn. I'd be good with that. Look at us, that double throat patch from there that came out. One of these two. The one on the left's double throat patch. Probably the one on the right. She was by herself. Yeah, go to the right. Yeah. Unless this one on the left does something stupid.
Oh, she's doing something stupid right now.
One on the left's getting close.
Oh, yeah, she's coming right
But she's gonna. I mean, I could close to that shoulder, but I ain't gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah, this one right here did not. This is the last one that came out without a fawn, so. How big's her buck? I can't see her now. Another buck. Go ahead and cut to him. Show him off it. They got a clear view. None of that. Chance is just bouncing around. He's got a multi-cam on him everywhere. Man, that got a little cooler when we popped that window open, didn't it? Right there. Oh, right there. Hold on. Chance, this is over. Right. We're going to shoot her. You own her. I'm going to shoot a Chance right now. So you ready? Yeah. And she's smoked, brother. It's already killed. Dead doe. Deer field didn't even clear. Smoked her. That was that one that got by us earlier that I really wanted to shoot. The man got behind us in this cornfield, smelled a little something. Come right back through. Super close. She crashed. Did you hear her crash? Yeah. Good, because we don't want to go too far in that ditch. But the good thing is we didn't really bugger a spot. We still got does in the field. 13 yards. I couldn't pass that up. Chance, tell me you got that live. Doe tagged field, baby. Oh, we got a does all behind us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right by the blind. We'd have killed one of them does back there. We made the right call, man. Beautiful. Beautiful sit here. That's that doe that came out by herself. That was fun. Golly, that never gets old. Hey, man. That never gets old, man. How does it feel to kill your first deer alive? I may have done like some back in the day small Facebook Live videos or something, but never with the new setup. That was cool. I hadn't heard from Cash. He needs to. There you go. You got another one coming in on the left. She's like, what's going on? Alright, Chance, do you want to cut to them? What's his doe? She's looking. Are they? No, I'm good. Okay. Oh, there's a buck. Chance, I got a little buck in front of me. I mean, scrub buck. Nobody's a buck. Oh, they got a good one in front of them now. That wind saved our bacon today, buddy. honestly, I probably should have aimed a little lower on that doe. But, I mean, I freaking smoked you. You couldn't have went up there and put that arrow in a better spot. They got a nice buck in front of them. Well, now you're looking at you.
He's from earlier today.
Okay, yeah.
You can't do it.
That's pretty cool right there. That's pretty cool.
Hey, turn your GoPro off. Well, I got extra batteries.
Oh, we're good, yeah. I love that new GoPro.
Here, watch this. He's gonna tip the replay. Put it on. He's gonna tip the replay on the shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if that buck right there is the one they seen last night.
He's gonna take it back up again. It's hard to pull focus in the dark. And they're gonna turn my body in the camera for me.
He already broke. He's got kickers. That is a freak year-and-a-half-old deer, dude.
Go on, Jeff. If you don't have a big deer on it, David, this deer's got some kickers.
That is a freak of a year-and-a-half-old deer. Brow tines are facing forward.
Chance, how's my color and light? How's my color and light on my camera? He's giving it all she's got. My camera's down.
I'm hearing something right here. Way back, it's got to be 4. 14 people. 16.
You post this video tonight, you use that as a thumbnail with the no shot. It'll get people in.
The thing that stinks about Instagram is nothing lives there. You know what I mean? What lives there is not what we want.
Where are we sitting so David knows where to go?
What?
Where are we sitting so that David knows where to go?
I'll tell him. be able to see that corner, but my Lord, we have to about take it all through now. Man, we made the right call. Joe's like, good stuff. Look forward to more of these this season. He's like, how are only 8 people watching this? Agreed.
See, now it'll catch on. This is where it starts. It takes one person to start a movement. You know what I'm saying? One person to start a movement. We gotta figure out our play to push it. You know what I mean? For tomorrow night, put Dave in the spot. He can for sure kill a doe. Of course, for sure she can get. I text some of the Buck Ventures pro staff, especially the guys in Iowa, like no Gandy that I have a good relationship with. It's I still talk to. Tell them it's going live. As soon as 2 of those guys post it, all 200 of those guys will post it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll use Buck Ventures pro staff to our advantage.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of a pro staff.
Jeff, what do you? Chance, we don't have much. Do you want to go to
Well, we got some dough.
3 minutes for tracking? Hey, wait. Hey. You want to close these up, and we can use the light to film you saying, "Hey, stay with us. Dan's gonna come meet us. We're gonna get this dough out." Because if we close the windows up, Jeff, they won't see the light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Whatever you think.
Chance, we're gonna close the windows up. I'm gonna put a light on Jeff, and then he can address the fact that David's coming this way to track. Or I can just use his green light.
What's he gonna roll to? What's he gonna roll to? He could do my Kentucky hunt from last. Well, what does he got pre-prepared? I guess.
I don't know if he has a Kentucky hunt, but check it out.
Does he have to download it first?
I could do this green light on
Yeah.
guys.
Let me shut this.
You think they'll see that right now? Oh, check it out. Chance. Go to my big camera. Big Jeff, big camera. Jeff's had a doe that just stepped into the field.
Yes.
Alright. Let's close these up and we'll get that light ready so you can give us audio or video audio push today. We're gonna go to David's coming to us. Pick back up here in 20 minutes to track. Is that cool? Hey, Chance. Tell Cole to get his lights from the house.
It needs a flashlight too. I'll tell my dad.
Yeah, and a flashlight too. Look at Jeff's messages.
this on Facebook and YouTube, is that I double lunged her. It's what it felt like when I shot, so she wasn't very far. So I better double lunged her. But my dad's going to go by the house, get cash. Bodie, him and Cole are going to come over here. It is shooting light in 1 minute, so they'll be over here probably 20, 30 minutes, I'm guessing. I have one light. I should be good on light. I don't think she went far. So that was fun, man. That never, said it on the live, but that never gets old, shooting does. I will enjoy the heck out of that till the day I die. My palms were all sweaty. She was a nice one, and I really wanted to shoot. We had like 4 or 5 mama does out here, and I really wanted to shoot any of them that wasn't the doe that had the spotted fawn, and I got her. I got the one that came out by itself. So we're good. I got a little picky, but that's as small as a fawn as you'll see in October. We got the windows shut here, so heck of a hunt. That was fun. I think that wind helped us for a couple of reasons, and helped to keep us pretty quiet, and then it just helped cool off this field a little early. We seen what we see. Clayton 15 deer. Yeah. 15 deer, 3 bucks, all over a year and a half. That one had incredible potential. He was a cool buck. He had like his brow times went down like kickers. He had another kicker. Dave is in the money seat over there, though. He has seen 2 nice bucks 2 nights in a row. But they're probably starting to pack up. They got a clean exit over there, so I think what I'm going to do, I'll check and see if any deer in the field will get down. But if we got deer in the field, I'll just wait on them. Because I do not, even though we shot this doe, the field didn't clear to end. Didn't clear. But I 100% don't want to scare these deer. This is where I'm going to be hunting a lot the rest of the season. So, going to be smart, trying not to stress these deer out. Come in here with the vehicles, run them off, grab the doe, take her back to the house and gut her, clean her. We didn't decide not to take her anywhere, but that was fun. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, folks, we are going to talk to Cameron Coble. He is a deer guru from Iowa in the Midwest. He is an official scorer for the Boone and Crockett Club, Pope and Young Club, and the North American Shed Hunters Club. He tracks all the big deer shot every fall. As he is a writer, he is a man of many talents. So, Cameron, I got to ask, you and Jeff, you're in the same state of Iowa. Well, Jeff technically lives in Georgia now, but obviously Iowa is deer hunting home for him. But with y'all's shared love for giant deer, do you have any specific deer over the course of history in that land of giants in Iowa, like a specific deer that stands out that you remember and why?
Yeah, the number one typical that stands out for me, and it's actually the number 2 typical in Iowa now, overall any weapons, the Wayne Bills buck. That deer is just a epitome of a giant, clean, typical 10. I mean, it's 23 inches inside. It grossed 212 and 7/8 with a broken brow tine. It should have been at the time a possible world record. They don't know if the brow tine was broken. The guy shot it or shot it off. Shot on Deer Drive. Shot in Hamilton County, Iowa, in 1974. There's a replica of it at Shields. It's just a tremendous buck. 27.5. One main beam is 29.1. It's got tines up to 14 inches tall. Every mass measurement's over 5 inches. And it was Wayne Bill's first deer he'd ever killed. Somebody's asked him to go hunt, and he shot it on Deer Drive. Hamilton County is not really a place people would go to hunt big deer, but because it's north, kind of west of Des Moines a little bit, but that's where it's out of. But it's a tremendous buck. It's one of my favorite. It's actually the deer that's on my business card, my scoring card. The Wayne Bill's buck is. I chose it, and I had a buddy make it up one day, and it's a cool deer. Got everything.
Now, let me ask you, in your lifetime, have you ever scored any deer kind of, I'm not going to say similar necessarily in size, but just is that clean and perfect and symmetrical?
There's a couple. There was one. I scored the number 5 Iowa typical bow buck 2 years ago. Guy shot out of southeast Iowa. it grossed to 197 and some change and netted 193 and 6/8. It was a 10 point also. I like Big Tens. I mean, I like any big typical. I'm a typical fan, but it takes so much more for a typical to get that type of number. I mean, like
Right.
The Jordan Buck out of Wisconsin's a 10, and that's 206 and an 8. So the Big Tens, it just takes so much more. Another deer that's out of Iowa, it's always a show favorite when it's at the Iowa Deer Classic, is the Mark Lewis buck out of Southwest Iowa, shot in 2008. And I've held that rack, and I've met Mark Lewis, and that deer is just tremendous. It's got like giant bases on it, big clean 10. That's 194 and 3/8. And that's a real special deer. Everybody, when they go to Iowa Deer Classic and the deer's there, they flock to that one. It's a showstopper for sure. It's a tremendous buck.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Since you are an official scorer, you might know the answer to this question better than anybody. Everyone likes to, field judge deer, and a lot of times you can see a frame, you're like, yeah, that deer's 170,
Yeah.
Is there a specific characteristic of the rack that will sneak up on you and could take a 170 or 180 inch deer and push him that extra 5 or 10 inches to get him to the next, we'll call it 10-inch range? It's like, for me,
Yeah.
I usually say mass, but you might know different.
I would say probably the biggest hidden measurement, even seeing pictures deer or deer on the wall or even deer in your hands, but then in the wild, it's got to be main beams. It's kind of hard to judge a main beam just 'cause some of them curl around and they sweep around good. I would say if you want a high scoring deer, 25 inches on each side is a good number because two measurements, you're already halfway to 100. So if he has 25-inch beams and up, you're on your way. I mean, that's a good main beam. I've measured a handful of deer with 30-inch main beams, which is crazy. A lot of the big ones have between 26 and 28. The real big ones do. But I measured a couple. The number 2 Iowa bow typical I scored a couple years ago. It had 30-inch beams. I remember I measured the first time I measured that deer. Well, the only time I measured it, but the first time I measured the one beam, it was like 30 and 3/8 or 30 and 4/8. And I measured that beam 4 times because I couldn't believe it was 30 inches. I said, there ain't no way. So I measured it again, and I don't do that unless I don't feel good that the cable ain't moving, or sometimes I have to tape it. But I'd say main beams though are the biggest. Then probably followed by mass because you can see this as far as visual. But if you want a high score under time length, nothing beats time length. A lot of tall tines. Probably in order of high score, it goes time length, then beam length. The top two for scoring high. Spread really means nothing. It's one measurement. So I mean, it's
Right.
nice to have, but it's one measurement.
Well, and the mass just adds up. It's the one thing
Makes them
people, I
look
think,
bigger.
they
It makes
don't
a deer
account
look
for
big.
as much. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen deer with, tines that are this big around, and you don't get nothing for it, but they look awesome. They just got dowel stick rod tines, and they look awesome. That Mark Lewis deer out of Southwest Iowa was telling you about, it's really massive and got big bases, and that deer, it just looks big because it is big. I mean, it's a
Right.
giant 10 point.
Yeah, like for me, you always pick something on that deer's head or facial features that you know is kind of like a standard measurement that you can stack up against the antlers, right? Well, the main beams, like you're talking about, the only thing you can really do that with is, do those main beams go out past his nose, right? Or like, how wide is he outside the ears? But that's still more spread than anything, right? But mass, you've got the circumference of of its ear, right? You can stack it up to that. So
It's hard. It's hard to get a deer over 50 inches of mass. I've only scored a few. Man, I only think maybe. I know I scored one this spring. We haven't found out if it's a deadhead or 100 kill, but it had 50 inches of mass, and it's hard to get a deer with 50 inches of mass. It's easier to get 50 inches out of two measurements main beams. That's why main beams are more important, I feel, than mass.
that's a good way to
Mass
put it. I
does
didn't
help.
think about that.
Mass does help you. Eight takes 8 times. You get 8 measurements for mass. Two measurements, you can get 50. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of them bigger deer usually have 25-inch beams. Most of them do. I scored a big one out of just north of where I live here last year. A guy called me like the first October. I was like, "Dude," I was like, you can't be serious. The guy's already got a deer to scored, and he did. And I went and scored it, and because he told me what him and his buddies got, they sat around and drank beer. And I'm like, "Oh, you sure?" And they said, "This is what we got." I said, "Well, I'll be up. You only live like 20 minutes away." But it had 20-inch main beams. It grossed 237. with 20-inch beams.
That's crazy, man. That's
So
insane.
sometimes if they have one thing, they're going to have the other to make up for that loss. If that deer had longer beams, it would obviously score higher. But
Yeah.
20-inch beams is really short for a deer of that caliber.
Yeah, it's funny. I got a buddy of mine. He shot a giant 8 in Kentucky, 3:50 in the afternoon a week ago, and he scored it. No one believed him when he scored it at mid-160s. Everyone said 140, getting throttled online. 4 different people after that scored it. The taxidermist scored it, and it's still above 160. And then the taxidermist set it next to a 145-inch, like 8 or 10 that he already had in the shop, and you can tell. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. I run into that all the time, but anymore, and I probably made a mistake doing that years ago. I would judge stuff before I seen it in person. I said, man, this it could be a bad picture. I tell people, I said, just take it with a grain of salt, because until you see it or really know, then you just don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like I said, they're just bad pictures. I've seen some deer that I swore were never as big as what they were. Then you see them in person, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a lot bigger than I thought.
Yep. Yes, it is. Now, you mentioned you're a typical guy, and that was your favorite deer that was a typical. You have a favorite that was a non-typical?
Out of Iowa?
Yeah.
I would have to say on the non-typical side overall, just because I've held the rack and it's got a big frame on it, that's the state record non-typical Derek Seek bucket, and that's 288. It's got a 200-inch net typical frame, though. Shot up in northeast Iowa. It's a tremendous buck. Really big deer. There's a couple that come to mind, but that one really stands out. And I know, well, let me take that back. That's on the bow side. A deer that nobody can ignore. That's not a big not a big scoring deer by any means, and that's 232, gross 244. That's the Hattie Peck buck. Everybody knows the Hattie Peck buck. That deer looks fake. I've said it to people for years. I say, if you go to the Iowa Deer Show and that deer's there and they have all the deer lined up on that Hall of Fame wall, you could take 100 people from off the street that know nothing about deer and walk them through there, and 99 of the 100 would point to the Hattie Peck buck and say, that's the biggest deer on this wall. That deer is special. That Hattie Peck is. It's got everything. It's a humongous deer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I got one last question for you. Can you trust Jeff and David Lindsey when they score their deer? Are they going to be plus or minus 20 inches or plus or minus 2 inches?
They're going to be close. I've always said this. Scoring's not really hard. Some people just have trouble reading the tape measure. I thought come to that conclusion. That's what I always tell my buddies when they say, well, how does your score this? I said, being a scorer, I don't know until I score or somebody else scores it that I know that's what it is. Or if you know, I got friends that are real close when I score stuff. So it's not hard to score. The only thing that's hard is maybe some judgment calls or some unknowns on where to take lines from certain intersection points, like on a non-typical or something. But scoring's pretty easy for the most part. Yeah. It's not rocket science, but anybody can do it. I mean, it's just, I always joke with this reading the tape measure right, I guess.
Yep. That's if you got the right tape measure.
You have the right tape measure. Sometimes I wonder when I see stuff online, it comes around every year. But
oh, yeah. There's no easier way to get beat up on the internet than talking about the score of a deer. Good grief.
Oh, gosh. I can tell you stories and just about this. It just goes on and on. So, yeah.
It never ends.
But no, it doesn't.
All right, Cameron. Well, thank you for your time, buddy.
Yeah, you bet.
You own her.
I'm gonna shoot a chance right now.
Is he ready?
Yeah.
And she's smoked, brother. He's already killed. Dead doe. Deer filled it even clear. Smoked her. That was that one that got by us earlier that I really wanted to shoot. The man got behind us in this cornfield, smelled a little something, come right back through. Super close.
Welcome back, folks. We hope you're enjoying our broadcast. We got another awesome topic here we're going to talk to Mr. Bobby Cole about. We're going to talk about food plots and what you can do to set up your farm so that you've got a year-round food source for these deer. Some people have heard of the term imprinting. When it comes to ducks, with the migration, you got deer have imprinting as well. And what can happen is you can imprint in a deer's mind like, hey, I know there's clover here or a food source here all summer and into the fall. But then if you have fall food there as well to get them deeper into the fall and into the winter, you can imprint on those deer that, hey, this is like a year-round food source. I know to come back here after I go to the area I like for the rut, I'll come back here to make sure I get whatever I want to restore those calories. Is there anything specific you like to do in setting up your food plots or specific seed mixtures, like going from one field to the other, say like a perennial clover to some kind of brassica mixture? What do you like doing there?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. And in the summertime, those does are training those fawns. Hey, this is where we go and graze and browse. And so over time, they just learn this. We're going to get up out of our bed and we're going here. And this 8-acre field we're going to spend some time here. Clover, we talked about that earlier, how important that is. But we see these brassicas, we're just big fans of them, especially up where the Lindseys are. They perform so well, but they need to be in the ground as early, or they need to up where they are. Mid-August, mid to late August is probably when they're getting those things in the ground so that they can get that vegetative growth through September. And then you start seeing just these big leafy plants, and they're super nutritious, they're super digestible, they produce a lot of tonnage. We love those plants. They're brassicas. We've got a blend called Maximum that it's palatable early, mid, and late. So to answer your question, I love having maybe you could have an area of the plot that's clover that then lends itself to where I know I want to hunt when these deer are rutting or even late season. And that's where I would kind of key in and have those brassica plants, because that's something that they go after late in the year for sure. They'll even dig up the tubers that they create in the latter part of the season, Clayton, and that works really well. Now we see the radishes are a really good attractant in the middle of the season. So like late October and November, they're super attractive. A lot of times super cold weather will start to make those radishes get kind of soft and a little mushy. We don't see them last as long as some of the turnips and the other brassicas. But in kind of understanding when the plants are the most palatable, the most attractive, and thinking about late season hunting, thinking about hunting during the rut, thinking about early season hunting, you can kind of use the word food plot architecture earlier. You can kind of try to say, well, this is where I want him to be during this season. And you can kind of craft your food plot regime to meet those needs. But at the end of the day, I think a guy's best served if he can plant as much of his property as he can and try to overwhelm his deer with groceries. And then at times that may make the hunting a little tougher because you're on this end of the field and they're on that end of the field. But if you've got those groceries on your property, the better chance you're going to keep you're going to keep your target bucks on your property. You mentioned earlier, some of them they're going to rut somewhere else. But if they've got good groceries when they come back, that's real important to replenish their body. It's such a stressful time of the year for them. So I'm just a proponent of trying to get as much of my plots, much of my area, much of my open areas planted as possible in good, nutritious groceries, something that's going to nourish the deer herd, the whole herd, not just thinking about bucks, but thinking about those does too.
Well, and two things. One, we talked about, he might go rut somewhere else and come back. You got to remember, we're in a time frame right now, early October. They're still kind of somewhat on that like early season feed pattern, which makes it easier for you to get on a target buck. But the same thing occurs in late season after the rut when they come back to these plots, right? Then the other thing too is you mentioned food plot architecture. When you go to plant this stuff, there are certain plants that like shade better than others. So how would you lay that out? Would you have your clovers kind of closer to the tree line? Because a lot of times most of these fields, they're next to a tree line. And then your brassicas kind of more out in the wide open sun so they can maximize that photosynthesis period and that growing period to get those big vegetative tops and the big bulbs on the bottom?
Yeah, you could. And the closer you get to the edge of the woods, if you've got a tree line, those trees are sucking the moisture out of that soil, and you'll see those plants don't perform quite as well. And usually by Thanksgiving, a lot of the leaves are off the trees, so you may have diffused sunlight to that point, but as the leaves start coming off the trees, you start getting more sunshine there. Then you may have some leaves in your plot that are covering some of the plants. But you're right. So that magical area out in the center of the plot that's going to get 8 hours of sunshine, that's going to be the place that's going to grow the most tonnage and probably be the best lush vegetation for sure. But boy, we've all experienced how these deer will sometimes hug the edge of a field, not wanting to get out into that field till later on till it's dark. Especially if you got somebody like Jeff, he's there. He's going to kill that deer if he gets out there in that plot. And so I go back to just trying to plant as much as I can from the edge to the edge. And Clover does a great job with that, but we have really been fans of these brassicas. And I think about the radishes being good from early to mid, and I think about the other brassicas like in Maximum that are good from mid to late. And you mentioned it earlier, that late season is so important that you have groceries there for those deer in the latter part of the season. Even after the season goes out, they're still there trying to make a living.
Yep. So the moral of the story is when you guys are setting up and planning your food plots, don't think about just deer season. If you can think about year-round and structure these things, you're going to be much better off long-term.
And that's what, as gamekeepers, that's what we preach. And we preach it with our magazine, and we preach it with our podcast. And it's about being out there 12 months out of the year and taking care of your property, taking care of the habitat and the critters 12 months out of the year. Because, a lot of times guys just think about them from October to Christmas, but they're there 12 months out of the year. We owe it to them.
Well, Bobby, we thank you for your time. If people want more information on anything related to deer habitat, turkey habitat management, food plots, you guys have Mossy Oak Gamekeepers, you have Mossy Oak Biologic. Do you got any suggested places for them to go look? I mean, you mentioned you have a podcast.
Yeah, so the podcast has been, we drop one every week, and they're all about hunting and tradition and heritage and helping people improve their hunting. And that'd be a great place to start. And they can just, they go to wherever they get their podcast, search for the Gamekeeper podcast.
Awesome. Thank you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Look for the Gamekeeper podcast every week. That sounds like a lot of valuable information to me.
Yeah, we work hard at it. And, but we love it. It's something that, we enjoy it. You guys are no different. We know the Lindseys well. It's just as much fun to grow them but it's almost as much fun to grow them as it is to kill one of those big deer.
Yeah, almost. There you go. There's an appreciation for the process. How about that?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, Bobby. Well, thank you for your time today, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck to y'all. This is an exciting little project you got going here.
And she's smoked, brother. He's already killed. Dead doe. Deer field didn't even clear. Smoked her. That was that one that got by us earlier that I really wanted to shoot. The man got behind us in this cornfield, smelled a little something, come right back through. Super close.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, looks like Jeff and David are sitting in some great spots. It is opening weekend of Iowa's bow season. Most states' archery seasons are open now, and it is exciting times for deer hunters everywhere. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break from the action, and we're going to talk to Doug Roberts from Conquest Scents about what is going on with the deer herd right now this first week of October as those testosterone levels rise and those patterns start to shift. So, Doug, I got to ask you, what are these deer doing this first week of October? Where are we at in the phase of the life of a whitetail the first week of October throughout the fall? You know, you've got rut, pre-rut, and all that stuff. Where do we sit right now?
This is actually just before what you call pre-rut. So here's what's happened is the bucks have just started coming out of velvet. And so that means testosterone levels in their system are going up. They're going to start feeling a little not only edgy, confident, touchy, but they don't trust each other anymore because they got these things called tines that are really sharp needles, and they're going to start poking at each other. So all those bachelor groups that you've been seeing all summer, all the way up till honestly probably last week, are going to start splitting up, and they'll start going down to 2 or 3 together, or maybe just 2 together. Normally what you're going to find at this time is the more dominant buck is going to pick his buddy that will kind of be his protector, his caregiver. When they go out of the woods into a feed field in the evening, he's going to make sure that buck goes before him, and he's going to kind of wait and watch to see what happens. If everything seems okay, then he'll come out. The does, they're now finishing with the fawns. The fawns are starting to lose their spots. So they're now starting to go back into the areas where the bucks are. But at the same time, they're on edge a little bit too, because some of the bucks just want to chase new deer. Other ones might have a little higher testosterone levels and actually be at the beginning of that pre-rut period.
Right.
So again, they're on a little bit of edge, but they also want to move it back into that new area where they know they're going to have to be bred here in another month and a half. So the dynamics is changing quickly right now as far as not only where deer can be, but who they've been with. The bucks are not going to trust each other at all at this point. The yearlings, they're dumb. They're teenage kids. I mean, they don't know any better. But you start getting 3, 4, 5-year-old bucks, you better keep their personal space just got a lot larger. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I've noticed in the past few days, I got to get in a tree and there was a 2.5 or 3.5-year-old and a yearling, and that 2.5-year-old and 3.5-year-old kept posturing up to that yearling. He was vocalizing. He ripped a scrape right in front of me, and then same thing on a cell camera I have. I got a deer that was 3.5 or 4.5, and there was another young buck in the frame, and you could see him start to kind of do that side step, semicircle, posturing up to that younger deer. And on that camera, we had not had many bucks. And then all of a sudden, it's like the last few days, that light switch flipped.
Yep.
Their patterns are changing. Their testosterone levels are going up.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. I was in Kentucky a couple of weeks ago, and they, normally that's where you go for a velvet hunt, but they shut out like 2 weeks early, most of them. And everything I'm seeing and hearing from people is everything's happening 2 weeks early, and it's really odd because of the warm weather we've had. Normally, the exceptionally warm weather would slow all that process down. So what I would say is this: hunters have better pay attention to when that cold snap comes back through, because it's going to kick them into a much higher gear much, much quicker, and I don't see them coming back out of that. So a lot of bow seasons open that 1st of October, and it could be game on if that temperature drops or when it does.
All right, Doug. Well, thank you for your time, buddy. Let's see what these guys get into this afternoon.
I'm excited to see what happens.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Take care.
And she smoked, brother. He's already killed. Dead doe. Deer field didn't even clear. Smoked her. That was that one that got by us earlier that I really wanted to shoot. The man got behind us in this cornfield, smelled a little something, come right back through. Super close. You on her?
I'm gonna shoot a chance right now.
So you ready?
Yeah.
And she smoked, brother. He's already killed. Dead doe. Deer field didn't even clear. Smoked her. That was that one that got by us earlier that I really wanted to shoot. The man got behind us in this cornfield, smelled a little something, come right back through. Super close.
We hope you're enjoying our broadcast. We got another awesome topic here we're going to talk to Mr. Bobby Cole about. We're going to talk about food plots and what you can do to set up your farm so that you've got a year-round food source for these deer. Some people have heard of the term imprinting. When it comes to ducks, with the migration, you got deer have imprinting as well. And what can happen is you can imprint in a deer's mind like, hey, I know there's clover here or a food source here all summer and into the fall. But then if you have fall food there as well to get them deeper into the fall and into the winter, you can imprint on those deer that, hey, this is like a year-round food source. I know to come back here after I go to the area I like for the rut, I'll come back here to make sure I get whatever I want to restore those calories. Is there anything specific you like to do in setting up your food plots or specific seed mixtures, like going from one field to the other, say like a perennial clover to some kind of brassica mixture? What do you like doing there?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. And in the summertime, those does are training those fawns. Hey, this is where we go and graze and browse. And so over time, they just learn this. We're going to get up out of our bed and we're going here. And this 8-acre field we're going to spend some time here. Clover, we talked about that earlier, how important that is. But we see these brassicas, we're just big fans of them, especially up where the Lindseys are. They perform so well, but they need to be in the ground as early, or they need to up where they are. Mid to late August is probably when they're getting those things in the ground, so that they can get that vegetative growth through September, and then you start seeing just these big leafy plants, and they're super nutritious, they're super digestible, they produce a lot of tonnage. We love those plants. They're brassicas. We've got a blend called Maximum that it's palatable early, mid, and late. So to answer your question, I love having, maybe you could have an area of the plot that's clover that then lends itself to where I know I want to hunt when these deer are rutting or even late season. And that's where I would kind of key in and have those brassica plants, because that's something that they go after late in the year for sure. They'll even dig up the tubers that they create in the latter part of the season, Clayton, and that works really well. Now we see the radishes are a really good attractant in the middle of the season. So like late October and November, they're just super attractive. A lot of times, super cold weather will start to make those radishes get kind of soft and a little mushy. We don't see them last as long as some of the turnips and the other brassicas. But in kind of understanding when the plants are the most palatable, the most attractive, and thinking about late season hunting, thinking about hunting during the rut, thinking about early season hunting, you can kind of use the word food plot architecture earlier. You can kind of try to say, well, this is where I want him to be during this season. And you can kind of craft your food plot regime to meet those needs. But at the end of the day, a guy's best served if he can plant his as much of his property as he can and try to overwhelm his deer with groceries. And then at times that may make the hunting a little tougher because you're on this end of the field and they're on that end of the field. But if you've got those groceries on your property, the better chance you're going to keep him on. You're going to keep your target bucks on your property. That you mentioned earlier, some of them they're going to rut somewhere else. But if they've got good groceries when they come back, that's real important to replenish their body. It's such a stressful time of the year for them. So I'm just a proponent of trying to get as much of my plots, much of my area, much of my open areas planted as possible in good, nutritious groceries, something that's going to nourish the deer herd, the whole herd, not just thinking about bucks, but thinking about those does too.
Well, and, two things. One, we talked about, he might go rut somewhere else and come back. You got to remember, we're in a time frame right now, early October. They're still kind of somewhat on that like early season feed pattern, which makes it easier for you to get on a target buck. But the same thing occurs in late season after the rut when they come back to these plots, right? And then the other thing too is you mentioned food plot architecture. When you go to plant this stuff, there are certain plants that like shade better than others. So how would you lay that out? Would you have your clovers kind of closer to the tree line? Because a lot of times most of these fields, they're next to a tree line. And then your brassicas kind of more out in the wide open sun so they can maximize that photosynthesis period and that growing period to get those big vegetative tops and the big bulbs on the bottom.
Yeah, you could. And the closer you get to the edge of the woods, if you've got a tree line, those trees are sucking the moisture out of that soil. And you'll see those plants don't perform quite as well. And usually by Thanksgiving, a lot of
they stopped and picked you up, huh?
What?
They stopped and picked you up.
Huh?
They stopped and picked you up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for running them deer off. We shut those windows and so did what we had to do. So it was good.
Can I pull my arrow out?
Yeah, it's bloody. It's bloody. All right, let's check this arrow out. Tell me how it looks. No, don't do it right there. I could have told you that. That's when you know your bow's hitting hard, when it goes through the deer. And look at that.
Got a 3-inch broadhead.
Yeah, look at that. You can reuse that one. Look at that, 3-inch. Cash said it may. Cash said it looked like a gut shot to him.
No, and it came out the lungs.
Oh, and it came out the lungs. Now you're backing up.
Because it was like quartering away.
Quartering away? I don't know, was it? It looked pretty broadside to me. All right.
Here.
All right. Here.
I'm bad at film.
He wants to track him. All right, track him. Track her.
I need to go.
I know where she went in the woods, but we'll let him track her. Are you on blood?
No. Ow. This hurts. Ouch.
Hey, let me see it. We gotta find blood.
Daddy, you have a headband.
You want the headlamp?
No, I want that.
Just trying to find where she wrote. Look.
I know.
If you know, he said you don't need my help. He knows. He's over there. Well, you got blood? You got blood?
No.
Let me see it. Let me see it, bud.
Yeah. You have a headlamp.
I can't see.
I'll hold it.
Come over here.
Right there.
Hold it up a little higher. What is that? Let me see. Right there, look. The blood. No. She went in the woods. You see it? I believe she went in right back there, believe you.
I can't see. Turn the light.
There she goes. All right here. He's wanting to control the light, so I kind of got to let him do his thing. Why don't we have any streaming?
Cut the signal completely too far down the hill. Or play it on replay. I still get to see it. That's what I'm saying. We're going to make quick back up there.
Well, I'm going to leave this stuff here then. Well, you on blood?
What?
You on blood?
Yeah.
ready? Yeah. And she's smoked, brother. He's already killed. Dead doe. Deer filled it even clear. Smoked her. That was that one that got by us earlier that I really wanted to shoot. The man got behind us in this cornfield, smelled a little something, come right back through. Super close.
I can't help it. This thing's old down, but it sure sounds good.
I don't have a good one. You gonna kill one this morning?
Well, we looking, trying to get our eyes on a few before we make a decision. Don't want to shoot the wrong one, but
There's really only one, maybe two deer that I don't want shot.
which ones are those?
Well, one of them's back here, and a huge frame 3-year-old.
The 6x6.
No, that's back here. This is back here, like 10.
Don't put me back there. Lord only knows he'll come in there running, grunting, chasing the doe.
He was a big body.
Day 4, I believe. I don't even remember.
4.5.
Today,
3
buck
or 4,
died.
something
No
like
doubt.
that.
No doubt. We're gonna kill a buck today. Calling it. Sunday, it's Lord's Day. He gonna send us one.
It's our 4th morning here in Illinois. Wind's blowing like crazy. Kind of been the case every day this week. Got up in the stand. Hadn't been in here just a few minutes. Running a little bit late, as always. The buck show up. We're running a little late, so. And a decent buck. A couple of 100 yards below us there, and then we had a little young one right here, so. Saw a bunch of does coming in. Could be good. Temperature's not too bad, in the mid-40s. So. Sunday morning here in Illinois, and it's a beautiful day. Trees are beautiful, everything's beautiful. Sun's gonna be shining bright, high pressure. So, other than a little bit of a brisky wind, we should be in good shape. Best in the business. Playing this thing with the trumpet all week. We seen a buttonhead, a couple of does up here above us. Coming in, we're running late, time change, etc. We were out, whatever. We were running probably 20 minutes late. And we could see a big mature deer right here making a scrape. And we thought about just, we backed out, ducked down here, tried to beat him in here. But he came up towards where we were. I don't know if we could have shot him if we stayed. I wish we would have. Thought about that when I got down in here. Then he went east, so he didn't smell us. We got some does out here now, so I know he's not far. He was looking hard. He was by himself. We were running late. It's just time change, the whole shebang. It is what it is. He should come back. We got a bunch of deer in here I'd shoot. I say a bunch. A handful. Mature old deer. There's always Mo Bamba. No pics of him this year though. But there's always a chance. If they walk up through here, I'm gonna back one up. Come on up here. Here comes another one. 2 more. 3 more. They're all big ones too. There's gotta be a buck in there somewhere. Yeah. There goes one running. There he comes. He's out there. He's in the field.
I can't tell. Looks like an 8.
Yeah, tight right there.
He looks like he's right across from him, don't he? He looks like a big 6 or 7, don't he?
Yeah, I can't tell. That buck's gonna walk by Jeff and Ben for sure.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
He's in the field. She's like 20 yards.
How we cut this GoPro off?
That side button. Here she comes, be careful. He's coming right behind.
Got it. So we don't smell boat, dang it. You don't have to back it up there. You got your section down, you know? Light on it. She ran down there out of cell service, I see. Other foot. What do you need to do this recovery? Here.
Oh, what is that smell?
Her.
Her guts? These stupid bugs. Why are bugs attracted to like every single hanging bug?
But when I bet, she took off and then he stepped as soon as I hit the release. She must have been in. Yeah. Hit him right in the gut. Right in the haunch. The back of his intestines. I did not mean to do that. The doe's right here. She seen me draw. She was right there. I was looking at her. And when he went to step towards her, my bow. I meant to stop him and she took off.
She smells.
And he did too, and just the time I squeezed the trigger.
She smells different than a normal deer.
He's right there. He wasn't.
She smells like rotten sushi.
20 yards. Yeah. Alright.
There.
Jeff's hunting about 100 yards down into the west. We saw a big deer down when we first come in this morning. And then a little bit later we seen a bunch of does out there and he came out there. He went in where Jeff was hunting. And Jeff texted and said he shot him. But the deer turned. Right as he shot him, he turned real hard, so not sure where the shot hit. I texted him and asked him, but I haven't heard back from him, so we'll see. Well, when I shot, I knew I hit his kind of back ham and it didn't penetrate, but I did think I was higher than I actually was, so just a crazy shot. He didn't duck, he like leaped when I pulled the trigger, and I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. There's a buck right here, a little one. I don't know if I got enough penetration for the hit gut. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. That's my only chance of killing him, and it's going to take him a while to die. So I contacted a guy I knew with a dog. I sent him a video. I said, hey, I shot him at 7:30. I know it's going to be a while. I just don't want to come in here. There's going to be no blood on that shot, so there's no chance we got to track him. It'll be like a search and destroy. So think the best chance is to get a dog in here. Maybe give him at least 6 or 8 hours, see what he thinks, and see what a few other people think, and go from there. But I'm very disappointed in myself. That was not a hard shot. I can't even say that I rushed it. When I pulled the trigger, he jumped, and it's deer hunting. It happens to us all, but it just stinks it happens to a flipping bruiser like that one. 2020, man, 2020.
He jumped. Look at him going high.
Yeah.
Like he's taking off after her. He run to take off after her.
Yeah, I see that.
75 yards, died in second bed. Estimated time of death, 14 hours. Both died in bed upon tracking. Here you go, Jeff.
Big mature deer in the Midwest shot.
That's 7 a night, so do you go in there and try to search and destroy it at night, or just give them a full 24?
Give him a 24.
Yeah, because the only thing you're just losing is hanging up the coyotes.
They're only going to get more dead.
He's only going to get more dead. Coyotes might eat him, but yeah, you'd rather find a half a deer than nothing.
And if they don't, it's cold roast meat.
Yeah, meat's good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do. It'll be like in a cooler.
What happened? I'm live. All right, guys. She went down into a draw that sent us out of cell signal, so I apologize, but she went, I don't know, she probably went, what do you think, Dad, 100 yards in the woods? For that shot, she toted that a pretty good bit. She's just ate up with ticks all around her ears. That right there, we just went in. It's October, usually too late for chiggers, but I'm positive there was chiggers in them woods we just went in. This was the exit hole. I tried to, don't want to make it too gory, but it was, that's why we shoot 3-inch heads. She bled good once she opened up, and it was a short track job. Brody helped me drag her out. He's been doing some off-season weight training just for this, so we got to put him in, throw him right in the fire. So it was a good night, you know. It went live on multiple social media platforms, and we got a nice fat doe. We already have a place for her. One of our buddies, one of Clayton's buddies down in Kansas City, his wife's a vegan. They're going to try some deer meat. So that was our goal this weekend, get them a deer. We're going to take it to a processor a little further south than here so they can pick it up here in a couple of weeks once it gets ready. So this doe is going to go to great use, 100% wild, organic, free-range meat right here. Nice doe. My guess is she probably weighs between 140, 150 pounds, Dad? She wasn't the biggest doe in the field, but she was one I wanted to kill. Heck of a hunt tonight. A lot of fun. Hope y'all enjoyed the live. October 4th, that wraps up a full day in the woods with the Lindseys. October 4th. This morning was a bust, but tonight was great all the way around. So thank the good Lord for a nice, safe, successful day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.